As you know very well, Gayatri is one of the most prominent mantra. Of course, there's a lot of Sanskrit mantras, but one of the top posts is called Raja Mantra. That is the Gayatri mantra itself, So all the mantra, all the prayer that we do, if we don't chant the Gayatri mantra, the prayer is unfulfilled. But Gayatri holds a certain deepness in herself. I'm not talking Gayatri as a person. I'm talking Gayatri as the mantra itself. As you are well versed about it, you are well known about the power of mantra and also the meaning of the Gayatri mantra itself. First we said Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha. Om, that cosmic sound itself, that vibrate throughout, which is in reality who everything is, nothing is not Om. Om is that cosmic sound which vibrate and create everything. Everything emerged from Om. And everything is Om. That's why Bhagavan said, I am Om. You may not chant any mantra. If you just meditate in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga, he explained about just by focusing upon the Om, by when you're sitting and then concentrating on your third eye, you chant inwardly that three syllables Om. So while you're chanting Om, that is Bhagavan himself. There's no difference between Om and the Supreme Lord. Bhur Bhuvaswaha, we are talking about that free state in itself, that emotional state, that consciousness and the blissful state which you represent. That is your being. Your divine being in that state is the fullness of that creation itself, that emotional what you are here. And your consciousness while you are advancing towards your spirituality. But the culminate part of it is that blissful state, That is the free first word. Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi diyo yo na prachodayat. So that part we tell about, just like the sun is rising. When the sun is rising, what happened? Darkness disappeared, no? So light, you start to perceive the reality. But one stayed in the slumber of the darkness of the mind. When one is in the slumber of the darkness of the mind, one is not awake. One is still in a dormant state. But the Devas, they are not in that dormant state. The Devas is in a state of awakening. When they're in the state of awakening, they perceived that divine reality at all times. So as long as man, it is in the state of the mind, their state in the state of dormant. A Gayatri Devi, that mantra realized that one intellect have to be enlightened. In spite of if you have an intellectual, you are very intellectual people, but your intellect doesn't mean that you are enlightened. Here we ask Gayatri Devi in that mantra itself, enlighten that intellect. But by the intellect getting enlightened, only then the consciousness will reveal itself. But if the intellect is not enlightened, very difficult. Then the mind and the ego take over. So we ask Gayatri mantra, when we are chanting the Gayatri mantra, we are asking the divine to purify our intellect, so that that divinity, what we all hold, may shine through. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, chapter 6, verse 3 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan said Those who is longing for perfection, action, work is the mean. Those sages who have already attained to that, tranquility is the mean. So when we see that verse itself, we see Bhagavan explaining, but the state in itself, how one is moving. So he said, but what is the aim? The aim is to attain to the divine state. No? But it is in a progressive way. Those which is longing for perfection onto the outside, it's important to work for it. You have to make an effort. You can't expect for it to just jump from heaven into your head. That doesn't happen, have never happened, and it will never happen. Those who just sit idly and thinking that, yes, without effort I will attain to that, no, it will never happen. So effort is important, and action. But those who have already attained to that stage, you know, there is no need. For them, they have to sit in that tranquility. They sit in that divine consciousness. They are absorbed into that. The mind is tame. So when you become the master of the mind will never want to change. It needs to be whipped. Then you have it under control. Without whipping that horse, which is the mind, once the horse starts listening to you, then you can guide the horse wherever you want. You can gallop the horse wherever you want. No? Because you are in control, you are the master. So we ask Gayatri Devi, when you are chanting the Gayatri mantra, that we are not dictated by our mind, but we are the master of such mind. We are here to attain to that ultimate perfection. We are here to attain to the lotus feet of the Lord. We are here to attain to that bliss of Bhagavan himself. We are not talking about us being blissful. We are talking about that bliss which emanates from that awakening of him inside of us. You know? So, you see, throughout that journey, everybody have a different understanding of that. Some people try to find easy way. No? There's no such things as easy way. You have to make your effort everywhere. When we are chanting the Gayatri mantra, we are asking the Divine Mother to enlighten our intellect so that we can cross over all that limitation, that the gate of possibilities open up, that we may awake in that divine glory. Not only in one specific, but in the multitude, the vastness, the wholeness itself. Only when we become whole in ourselves that we can realize the divine. If we are not whole in ourselves, we can't realize the divine. We can't even realize who we are. Then all stay only into the mind. Even your knowledge stay only into the mind. There is no intellect there. There's only the mind which is governing. So you are still into the whole state. Now still trying to climb, but not yet achieve that. So we ask, when you are chanting, you know the vibration which the Gayatri mantra create. It's not only for the, I forgot to say, should have put some water around, let it get energized, But yet, I was thinking, your body is full of water. 72% of your body is water. So while chanting the Gayatri mantra itself, your whole vibration, your whole DNA or whatever inside, what is it called? Yes. Is, of course, vibrating the Gayatri mantra. And not only this, all which is in nature, which is around. I'm sure the fishes in the lake, the trees, the plant, the people which even if they don't want to hear the mantra that you were making so much noise at night, they will also profit in a positive way. That is very good. You have done the seva for them also, you see. So, willingly or unwillingly, you have chanted the Gayatri mantra. Willingly and unwillingly, people who have listened to it have profit from it.